My name is Arlene and I am with Luna Soul Wellness. I am the founder and owner of Luna Soul Wellness, and I also am a human design chart reader, among a billion other things. So today in this video, I wanted to talk about the chakras. And basically, this is going to be video 1 of a 9-part series that is going to be revolving all around the energy centers in human design. Now, there are 9 energy centers in human design, and so again, we're going to start with this first one, which is the root chakra. Now, the root chakra in human design, this first energy center, does have the same elements that we see in Ayurvedic chakra system, right? We do know, if you're not familiar with the normal 7 chakras in Ayurveda, basically the root chakra in Ayurveda encompasses money, protection, foundation, ancestral healing, lineage, and kind of, you know, just getting grounded with yourself. So it's a very grounding energy. But then when you also add human design adds a little bit extra to it. So in human design, you get the pressure and the motor center. So in human design, in the body graph, this is a pressure and a motor center area. Now, what does that mean? So I want you to take a look at your body graph. And what you're going to do is you're going to take a look at the very bottom square. That very bottom square is going to be this red square, and it's going to be either white or red, right? Now, here's where it gets a little, you have to pay attention, because this is where we have defined, undefined, and totally open in the root chakra area, right? So this is where it's going to kind of play out a little bit differently, because if you have yours defined, then that means that you're basically here to start things. Maybe you're also here to launch things, possibly. You're also here to handle stress a little bit better. So if it's red in your chart, then that means that you are here to kind of get things off the ground and going. You're also capable of handling stress. You're also capable of being under pressure. And so those are kind of natural things that you innately carry within you that make you a little different and unique from somebody who has it undefined. So undefined basically means that it's white. And if it's white, then that means that you basically have only gates coming to it. There's no channels. So a channel would be like you see a link from, that red square, and then there's like something coming out of it and it links it to something else. That's a channel. So basically, if you're undefined, then that means, you basically don't handle pressure very well. I'm sorry. And I can agree with this because I also don't have mine defined. I do have a couple gates. And notice that also those gates, even if it's white, those gates around it, they will help express on how this kind of plays out for you. So basically, going back to being an undefined root chakra in the human design, it basically means that you can take on the stress of your environment. You can also kind of be an adrenaline junkie. You can crave chocolate a lot more. You can crave caffeine, anything that kind of amps up your energy. That's going to be one of the things that, you're going to be prone to, right? And this is where it gets a little bit with the health system of human design. This is where you start to understand, like, oh, okay, yeah, I can see where, I do get burnt out. So I go and I reach for that cup of coffee at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, or make that trip to Starbucks at 6 o'clock at night because I can't stay up, right? So it's great to know these different things. And then also when you're open, you are able to amplify that energy. So what that means is that, let's just say you're like out there in work, right? And your partner next to you is just grinding, they're going after it, and you're like, ooh, yeah, I'm gonna get on that grind too. So what you're doing is you're amplifying that person's energy. You're taking it into your root chakra area and you're absorbing it into your body, and then you're gonna amplify it, right? Another thing that an undefined and also an open energy center. So let's just go into the open energy center. That means that it's totally white, just like the undefined one, but there's no gates leading to it. There's nothing there. It's totally open. So when it's totally open, you truly take in that energy of everybody else's root chakra. And the beautiful thing is it's not good or bad. So that is one thing I want you guys to understand, that When you take in somebody's energy or you take in the environment around you, you get the chance to play with it. Now, when you're defined, you're set in that. You're not, if I come next to you with my open root chakra center, I'm not going to change the way you express that. But when you come into mine, it's going to change the way that I express it within my body or within, you know, the things that I do on the day-to-day. So another thing, how this kind of looks if you have an undefined or a totally open chakra in the human design system, is basically have a restless energy. So sometimes, you know, you could just be like cleaning the house all day, every day, and then doing this, doing that, you know, and then you're tired, but then you sit down and you're like, I can't relax because I know that I need to go, you know, go get ready, the kids ready for their school tomorrow or whatever. So I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna go make them their lunches at 10 o'clock at night. And so notice that that person is getting up and not resting because they're feeling pressure from the day before, right? And then they also have this restless energy that kind of makes them do that because they feel that pressure from the day before, right? That they're like, you know what, I don't want to deal with that tomorrow, so I'm going to get everything that I possibly can today. And next thing you know, they're burnt out. And by the time they get up to, you know, go take the kids to school or go to their job tomorrow, they are burnt out. They have no energy because they used it all on the day before because they wanted to avoid the pressure of the day ahead, right? So that's one way that it can play out, which I definitely do identify with that. So basically, here's some tips for you. Don't procrastinate if you have an open or undefined chakra center. And then also keep your boundaries. So, you know, making sure that, you know, you have your set schedule, your set time, maybe that you're like, hey, you know what? I feel like I'm spiraling out right now. So notice that and say, you know what, I'm gonna go sit down. Start listening to your body cues. Another thing is that meditation might not work for you. And why? Is because you naturally have a restless energy. So might make you feel pressure to sit down and like, you know, I gotta sit here for 5 minutes and do this meditation. That might work, but if it doesn't work, don't do it, let it go. Maybe for you, a yoga nidra class would be great because you have somebody that's talking to you in a yoga nidra class. So that's gonna help settle your brain and help calm you down. And then you can focus on that person talking or that guided meditation versus you just trying to, you know, do it yourself, right? Another thing would be legs up the wall. This is one of my favorite yoga poses. I'm also a yoga teacher. So legs up the wall is basically you sitting down and you put your legs up the wall and you just stay there for 5 minutes. This just really does help ground you and brings all of that energy back in towards you because your legs are going up, energy is moving down into you. Another thing is, what is your relationship with stress? What does stress look like for you? You know, how do you handle it? So these are just things to kind of, you know, bite down. Do you take on your family's stress and make it your own stress? Because now that you know that you have an undefined or open root, that means you could take on somebody else's stress and then it feels like it's yours, but in reality, it's not, right? So, you know, little things, do pranayama breaths, you know, even I love essential oils. So you can take some essential oils in your hand, rub it in, rub it together, smell it, take a deep breath, exhale it out. I also, little plug here, do have an Etsy shop that I have a root chakra blend that is a very grounding and calming and soothing blend that I actually do use a lot during the day because sometimes I do need that grounding because I can kind of be all over the place. So also I'm gonna take you right back really quick to about the pressure of this energy center. So what this does is this gives pressure to the rest of the body graph. So you have this pressure that's, you know, I'm gonna start things, right? What that does is that energy moves up into the rest of the chakras. You know, it moves into the solar plexus chakra, and it moves into the splenic, or it'll move straight into the sacral chakra, and then that sacral chakra, all of these turn it into something else, right? So it's a pressure that moves up into the body. The other energy center that does that is the head. So you have these two centers in the body graph that bring pressure into the middle. And if you have an undefined sacral, which we'll go into that in the next video, then that's gonna actually really help you understand on sometimes why you might feel overwhelmed by things, by your environment, by people. So these are great things that are really good to know that even freeze up if you have this energy center open or undefined. So, you know, let's just say you're like gonna go out and perform in a play, and then, you know, you're like amping up, and then it's time for you to perform. You get on the stage and you're like, oh crap, oops, I can't do this, and then you run away. So just notice, if you're prone to any of these things, there is nothing wrong with that, because once you find awareness that, you know, you truly can embody these things about yourself, then you can avoid running off the stage, or you can avoid burnout. The center governs the adrenals, right? And so the adrenals are these little things that are located in the back of the kidneys. And so if you're constantly taxing your adrenals, what is that going to do? It's going to lead to burnout. So if you really have this center open or undefined, pay attention to your adrenals. Do a lot of adrenal nourishing work, like drinking reishi, which is really good. Chaga is good for these are like mushroom elixirs that are really good for, you know, helping you ground. So anything that's going to help you ground, this is where the philosophy of the 7 chakras from Ayurveda comes from, because there's tons of tips, which I will make another video about that on just, you know, the 7 or the chakras just in Ayurveda. But this is basically a mashup of human design and the 7 chakra system, right? So, you know, honor yourself, honor who you are, and I hope that, you know, I've helped explain what this energy center is in human design and helping you understand whether you're just defined or undefined and what does that look like. Going back to if you are defined, just make sure to know that you can make people feel pressured. And I'll give you a really quick example of this. My husband has his defined and I don't. So sometimes, you know, he's like, hey, for example, we were planning a trip, right? He's like, he wants to be at the airport at like 2 hours before I actually want to go, right? Because let's just say our flight leaves at 3 o'clock. He wants to be there at 12 o'clock, right? And I'm like, why do we need to get there that early? And then he's like, because for him, it makes him feel grounded. For me, I'm like, you know, we could get there like at 1:30. You know, I think that's a good compromise. So, you know, he'll suck it up because he's a great husband and he'll wait for me. But once it comes to 1:30, he's like, okay, gotta go. And I'm still trying to pack, right? Or get my last things. Next thing you know, I get flustered because I can feel his pressure, like almost like on my shoulders. And so I get flustered. And then next thing you know, I forgot like half the things that I was supposed to pack. So that's just an example of how I took in his pressure and his like, come on, let's go, let's do this, and made it my own and then got flustered. So one of the things is communication. If you're feeling that way from your partner, your friend, your boss, whoever it is that's in your environment, you can sit there and say, hey, you know what? You don't need to tell about your whole, you know, undefined chakra in human design, but what you could tell them is, look, or even just in yourself, make a mental note. I don't handle pressure very well, and maybe explaining to that person what that does. So sometimes I tell, you know, I remind my husband, hey, remember, you know, I feel pressure, so can you please, you know, take a step back really quick. Or, you know, again, planning is great, but don't worry about if you're not sticking to a T on planning. You know, so there are things that do help with this when you're undefined or open, and then also just knowing that, you know, one, you need to basically really honor who you are, honor your stress levels, honor your pressure levels, and then also, you know, just really take in everything and be appreciative for the body that you are. And again, I hope this video definitely helped you guys. Stay tuned for the next video. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to comment below, or also you can go ahead and follow me over on Instagram and send me a DM there. I'm always sharing things on my stories on Instagram. So if you want to dive a little bit, you know, deeper, get to know me a little bit more, feel free to follow me there. I would love to connect. And then also check out my other videos on human design and check out the series. And also if you feel called to book a reading with me, I would love to do that. We go over the nitty-gritty in your chart and get really detailed into things. So that's another option that you guys have. But thank you guys for watching this. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. It really makes me really happy when I see that, you know, you want to connect with me. So I really truly do honor my subscribers, and I'm totally grateful for you guys. So have a great day. Enjoy exploring your body graph, and talk to you soon.